Hi guys, it's Kelly, and let's continue our discussion on freezer meals. Let's recap. Where are we at? So far you should have made the decision you're going to do freezer meals. That's step one. Gone through and picked out recipes, narrowed it down to 10 or 11, checked with your family, made sure everybody's kind of on board with what you've decided upon so that you're not wasting your time putting a whole bunch of food in the freezer that nobody's going to eat. And step three, we've created a grocery list. Your grocery list should be broken down by category, so dairy, produce, meat, and maybe even broken down as far as aisles in the grocery store that you frequent the most. I do that, minimizes the amount of time I spend in the grocery store, because when you're grabbing enough ingredients for 10 meals, it can take a little bit of time. So I like to start at one end, finish at the other, and not have to backtrack. All right, so next step. What do we do next? Next step is we need to make a roadmap. We're gonna kind of plan out a little bit what we're gonna do when we get into the kitchen to do our chop and assemble to get everything put into the freezer. This is gonna save you a lot of time. Now, when I first started doing this, I would take one recipe and I would go through the line and I would put everything into the bag. I would chop just what I needed and put it all into the bag and label it up, and then I would go to the next one. This takes forever. Don't do that. Trust me, don't do it. All right, so I'm going to help you so that you're not spending an entire day in the kitchen to get your 10 meals into the freezer. I can do 10 meals if I'm doing it by myself, about 2.5 hours. If I've got a helper, I can cut that down by half. So because it's your first time, plan about 4 hours. You may get done quicker, but just plan to have a chunk of time that you can dedicate. So step one, plan for the chunk of time you need. Step two, I want you to grab all of your recipes and then label them. First sort them by protein source. So all the chicken, all the beef, all the pork. Then I want you to label them. I want you to label them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So your recipes are numbered. Now grab your bags and your Sharpie. I want you to take first recipe, first bag, write a 1 on there, put the recipe name. After that, I want you to write down anything that you're adding to that bag when you put it into the crock pot. Now, for me, I don't put a lot of liquids into my bags. I don't put water, chicken broth, beef broth. Often I'll put the tomato sauce, but not always. Sometimes I'll leave it on the side, just depending on how full I think that bag's going to be. You can put everything into the bag. There's no reason that you can't. The reason I don't is because I'm a klutz. And I have, in the past, made an enormous mess. When I get my bags done, I put them on a cookie sheet, or a handful of them, usually about 5, about what I can carry. And my freezer's in the basement. So I put them on the cookie sheet, carry them down the stairs. Well, one time I had them completely full. They were full to the top with all the broth and everything. And yep, you guessed it, I dropped it. I had food everywhere. Not only did I have a huge mess, but I also wasted a lot of time and money. So that's why I don't put the broth in. I write it on the bag. Exactly how much I need to add to the bag to the crock pot when I put it in. The other thing I want you to write on there is the temperature of the crock pot. So if it's low or medium or high, depending on your crock pot, and the amount of time, the suggested amount of time to cook it. Some recipes are for 4 hours, some are for 8, some may even be 10. So write that on the bag. And the third thing I want you to write on the bag are any serving suggestions that you don't want to forget, and you don't want to have to go grab all those recipes back out. So if it says serve over rice, or serve with, fresh cilantro sprinkled on top, whatever that is, write that on the bag. All right, so you're going to do that. You're going to get them all stacked up. They'll be ready to go. Last step. This is important. Trust me. Just trust me. Check your recipes again, or grab your grocery list and double check your spices. I don't know how many times that I have gotten into the middle of the chop and assemble process and realized that all I had left of a spice that I knew I had at home is just an itsy-bitsy bit, and it's not enough. And so then I'm trying to write on the bag that's might be a little damp, or my hand might be a little wet from all the assembling, and the bag is not flat anymore. And I'm trying to write on there, oh, don't forget to add cumin to this. So go back through and just open your bottles, double check, make sure that you actually have all of the spices that you need. All right, so you're gonna do a roadmap today, and then we're gonna talk about what to do on assembly day in the next video. I hope to see you soon. Thanks for listening.